Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. Today I just want to take you through how to clean a Marzocco Swift grinder. If you're not familiar with this grinder, we did shoot a video a couple of weeks ago. Check it out on our channel. There's a couple of things you need to clean the Swift grinder. You're given a little funny kind of toilet brush, a little pokey stick, a 1-inch brush, a vacuum cleaner, and I like to have a little flathead screwdriver, just that extra little bit of detail clean. So the first thing we're going to do is turn the grinder off. Obviously we want to be nice and safe while we're cleaning a grinder, and we need to get access to where the beans are falling in. So we're going to close the chute of the hopper, take them out, tip a hand on the top and tip them upside down. That's the best way to store them, because if you have a look at these hoppers, they are a unique shape and there is no way that you can get that to stand on a bench with the beans in it. They're going to end up all over the floor and you're going to have an absolute mess in your hands. You can take those, put them into some gentle warm soapy water in a sink, give them a gentle wash out. I'd say once a week would be great. Never put them through a dishwasher, and make sure you air dry them and that they are perfectly dry before you put them back in the grinder. That's the same with any hopper as well. I'd then be taking a few of these beans out of this actual, I guess, what is it, the chute basically. Just get rid of the excess out of there. There's no point grinding them off and wasting them if you don't have to. You can always pop them back into our hoppers afterwards. And grab as many as you can. The next thing we're going to do is we're going to take off our top cover. We're going to hold the brake backwards. That's going to stop the shaft from spinning. And to undo this, you can actually push on the flat side. Now, people forget which way this goes, even I do sometimes, but I just know that if I'm pushing on the flat side, it's going to go undone. And it should just spin its way out. If you've done a good day's trade, you'll have a bit of coffee on there. So make sure you give that a good little brush down. You can wash it, but again, make sure it's clean and dry before you put that back into the grinder. Give a bit of a brush down all over, it's always handy. Make it look nice and pretty. And you can window cleaner and paper towel any of those surfaces if you want to get that nice polished finish. We need to use this brush basically and get inside the chute. Now it's a big cylinder, so you just want to get in there. There is a shaft that comes down from the top. Go around, 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 and you'll get a fair bit of coffee grind out. Get your brush, and you can actually just brush around where that handle's locking in as well, where the lugs go into, and that'll make sure that you get all the grind out. Now this is clean. Just pop your brake back on, sit it in place, whoop, and tighten that back up. Just finger tight, doesn't need to be any more than that. It will naturally tighten itself the way it spins, so that's cool. Let's go and have a look at the top now, because that's the other part that we need to clean. No, we need to show you something else. The pokey stick. So this little flap, when we open it up, actually has a little yellow circle inside. And as you insert that, it will actually go to the opposite side grinder and into the chute where that grind is being pushed through. So it allows you to sort of give it a bit of a poke around and make sure that chute's nice and clean. So definitely do that every single day. In the middle of the day if you need to as well, but one on either side, and that will make sure that chute is nice and clean. Now let's have a look at the top of the grinding blades. So grab your brush and just give it a bit of a brush down. Now you'd want to do this at least once a week. So we're going to start by just vacuuming out the beans that are left in there. Then I'm going to get just this little pokey stick and just go around the outside edge of the blade. There's always a little bit that just gets caught right in the edge. So I'm just going to take that off. Now you get beans that get stuck in between this part here. I'll just show you, in between this metal collar and the actual outside edge. And you can't quite get them, they get stuck underneath this rim. So what I recommend is just getting a flathead screwdriver. We only want to undo these 3 screws a quarter turn. We don't want any more than that. And that will just allow this top collar just to move slightly, as you can see there. And now we can actually poke those beans out that are caught in there. So there's sort of 2 whole beans caught in there, and they've fallen out nicely. And then just give them a tighten up. If you're not comfortable with a screwdriver, don't do this, please. Get your tech to do it when they do their service. And another quick vacuum. And that's the grinder blades clean. So we're going to pop the hoppers back on again. And you can see that this one has the beans in it, so make sure that's closed and locked. Now this is actually the one for the side closest to you. Whoa, bean spill. We're going to flip it over. Actually, no, it comes around upside down and comes back on to this side. So we're going to lock it in and make sure that we open the beans chute so that it, the hopper slides so it falls in, and then just lock it in on the front there. And now that's nice and tight. There are 2 screws that are here and on the other side, and you can tighten those up if you wish. We tend not to, because in an emergency it's very hard to try and get these 2 screws undone. So if we were going to tighten them up, we would only do the ones on the outside edge, and that means that a barista on site can get in there and take the hopper off if they need to. I'm just going to put the other hopper back on. Lock that back in place. Then we want to do a quick clean up. I've got a few extra beans, I'll just pop them back in. Pop our lid back on. And we're going to turn the grinder back on, because we do want to make sure it does work before we make our next coffee. We don't want to be leaving it pulled apart and then think in the morning, hey, is it going to work? I recommend just giving it a quick test to make sure that you're comfortable after doing a clean. Here's a handle, we'll give it a quick test. So that's grinding nicely. It's tamping beautifully. And we've got a nice, beautifully tamped puck. So that's ready to go. Now it's just a bit of a clean up, just a matter of getting your brush or your vacuum and cleaning up any of the beans you've spilt around the place. I like this little pot, it's really quite handy just to get all the grinds into. Now you can give that a quick window cleaner and paper towel spray to make it look immaculate again. If your buttons here start to get a little bit of a funny colouring on them, make sure you let your tech know, because it's easy to swap that out. You don't want those buttons breaking. And one other hot tip, if you're going to move this grinder, do not grab it from here and either pull it forward or push it back. That will break the grinder. So in this cleaning process, if you need to actually maneuver the grinder, it's best to get your hand underneath here and one under the back, and then allow it to maneuver around. It's the safest way. You don't want to be breaking the chute that pushes that coffee into the front. Thanks very much, guys. I hope you've enjoyed how to clean the grinder. If you've got any questions, hey, shoot us a comment. We'd love to hear from you. If you're using one of these grinders and you're not really quite sure about it, hey, we'd really like to answer that for you. So thanks very much, guys, for watching. Have an awesome day.